Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna be showing you how to play some tank Kog'Maw bot lane. It's actually incredibly strong and even played in Challenger Korea. The whole concept of the build is you are faster and stronger than all your opponents, so you can run them down and get off your full lethal tempo and your full W active. Fighting me on my W and my lethal tempo. I actually killed him. You cannot fight Kog'Maw on his W, you just time him out. If you actually fight Kog'Maw on his W, you lose the game, guys. It's really that simple. You can't fight him on his W. It's like fighting Master Yi on his R. If Master Yi R's early, you just walk away. Alright, we'll just go ahead and reset. That was insane. I don't know if that was a intentional Lulu bait, but it turned into that. They greeted out hard, and they both ran Ignite like goobers. So we'll go ahead. We'll pick up our tier 2 boots. We'll buy a control ward. No, I'm not. Never mind. I don't want a control ward. Okay, it's too late. I didn't sell it. So the way they do this in higher elo specifically is they get several points in Kog'Maw's Q early for like last hitting and poke, mainly for the poke, because it has a really high base damage of 90, which is like 2 of my auto attacks. And it goes up by 50 damage per level. And yeah, just really, really strong. Lowers their resistances to where you actually don't get your E on Kog'Maw until way later in the game, until it kind of forces you to. Since these players aren't that type of skill level, I would rather just get my E here at level 3 instead. That way I can kite them out harder and have more survivability. They don't really understand that my we shouldn't freeze it there. This wave's too big. It was a good attempt. The wave's just way too big. 1 cannon plus 5 caster creeps. It's like 4 Soraka's sitting there autoing you. So yeah, we're gonna get pushed back a bit. We are losing a lot of CS. We proc our lethal tempo. Ooh. Getting most of these. I'll go ahead and hit a potion. We want to all-in trade here soon. Got our lethal tempo up. Makes it really easy to last hit. Landed my Q. You should not fight this Ashe. You will lose this. I don't think I could have hit her with anything else. You're going to be like, oh, your E was up. My E has a travel time, and she was already towards the tip of my E to where I don't think it would have hit her. So we just let her go there. But that's the whole point of the boots rush on Kog'Maw, so you can utilize your lethal tempo like this. She's dead. If you don't have a movement speed advantage, they just walk away from you and your lethal tempo becomes very wasted. But if you're faster than them, you can still like run them down mostly in between your auto attacks, because no other real AD carry really does that. You're dead too. Yeah, you don't want to gank this. Once Kog'Maw's ahead, unless you have a huge ability like a Fiddle Fear or a Malphite R, you don't want to touch this lane. It's way too hard to gank at this point. Getting forward vision. She wastes her W thinking she can hit me, but I kited back with my tier 2 boots. If I didn't have tier 2 boots, her W would have nicked me there as I was kiting it. So cool for us. We'll go ahead and reset. We'll go straight into our wit's end. We've been chugging potions. We have exhaust up. We'll crush them in this fight. If you are going to play Kog'Maw bot lane, do you generally want a Lulu? If you don't have a Lulu, then it's just not optimized, but you can still play with a Nautilus, Leona, Soraka. I'm just having trouble finding my item. If you're wondering why wit's end, it's just for the price. If they have AP on their team, which they do, they have triple, Teemo, Gwen, Seraphine. That's a lot of magic resist, so it makes you tanky in that aspect. Then typically the second item you're gonna go for is Hurricane. If you need even more tanky, if they're like full AD, you would just go for Randuin's. So basically the whole point of this build is to get Wit's End and Randuin's, and that's what makes you tanky. And then you can build normal Kog'Maw items like Hurricane and Bork. Oh, I missed it. I autoed slightly too early on that one. I had to keep it tight though. I'm just gonna go for a W max. If you're in more of a pokey style lane, a poke down lane, getting a few points in your Q early is better. Because the base damage, like we talked about, is just insane. I feel like we can all in them very easily. Particularly since we have Elite, where I would just want more points in my W. The cooldown doesn't actually get any lower per level, unfortunately, on either of them. Oh, I see. His Q actually gives you attack speed per level. It's only 5% though. That's really not that big. Got both of their flashes for just my flash, and I'm still full HP. That was a really nice trade for us. That's what makes Kog'Maw so scary. You can, if he's on lethal tempo and W, you can't fight him. You just have to wait for it to time out. Ash lethal tempo just procced. If you don't hit someone a second time after you proc it, it wears off really fast. We'll auto this down behind our minions. Hit her with a poke. I actually can't auto. Alright, we got a triple, not bad. It may not be worth for the shutdown, but if we can get some turrets. I don't know, that's a weird fight. We got this now, and we'll just go for Hurricane, I think. I'll sell that control word. We'll get back to lane. Yeah, Gwen's annoying, dude. I hate how she's so close to you, but you can't auto her. It's really frustrating mechanic. I wouldn't even call it a skill mechanic. I'd just say it's frustrating. I would argue that it's better than a Yasuo win wall in most aspects. Particularly early mid game. It's really, really annoying when she's like ganking or roaming. You just can't hit her back, even if she kind of chases you down. Oh, wow, we actually missed cannon. I'll just let this push to me. Can farm at the edge of our R's. Her wave's still pushing to me. It's reinforced first. We can just freeze it on them and they're screwed. I have tier 2 boots and she only has tier 1s. I can run her down and fights really, really hard. Just keeping an eye on what my casters are attacking. It's easy to see what your melee minions are attacking since they're melee. They're just attacking what they're right on top of. Your caster minions just like randomly auto things that are nowhere near them. She's dead. She kind of walked into that one. Even if we didn't kill her though, we're still like full health, full mana. And we could kill her. The Swit's End's doing so much damage. It's really nice because it gives you extra movement speed too whenever you hit somebody. Feels really, really strong. We're basically just speed Kog'Maw. Yeah, she's dead. She died so fast. This does feel really, really strong though. I can see why it works even in Korean Challenger. Just the damage and the base stats is very, oh, it's so high. You're mobile, relatively mobile because of the speed on it. I get a controller down. I think we just killed him here. Unless Ashe uses her E. Got her. I didn't even have to use an R or a Q. We just stayed on top of her with W. Evaporated. Almost lost that one. Oh well. Go for the Q-Max now. Like I said, if you're in a tougher matchup, or if you're not as far as ahead, getting more points in your Q is better because of the attack speed. Plus, it's really good poke. You can put that on a cooldown and still hold on to your W for a real fight. Like, that's so lame that that follows her. I just can't hit her. That's so lame, man. She doesn't... Oh, it's so frustrating. You're dead. Yeah, it's so broken. Holy crap. I didn't have to use flash. I only had to use one R for zone. It blocked them off. Alright, guys, I only have Wit's End. I'm Wit's End Berserkers. It's not like I have 3 or 4 items. I'm sitting on a lot of gold, yes, but I haven't actually spent it yet. The base stats on this are just wonky. We need to get out of here, though. We're way overstaying. We need to leave. They're all going to be grouping up. Ash is about to be sick. She's going to arrow. And I'm sitting on an absurd amount of gold. Gwen's most likely going to rotate black mid. And now we just group. We don't actually want to be bot anymore because we're too deep. We need to get the outer turrets and get the plating, which we're actually going to miss now. We'll go for Randuin's next for the HP and survivability. If you don't have a Lulu, you especially, it's more important to go Randuin's than ever if they have multiple ADs on their team. If you do have a Lulu, you can kind of get away with it and just go straight for your Bork and Gunzus instead, since you have heavy peel. But like I said, if you don't have Lulu, this would be pretty much your exact build. If you're playing against a double 80 bot lane, you might want to get Randuin's before your Hurricane. So if it's like a Pantheon Samir or something. I wasted my W. You don't really want to waste your W to shove wave like that. You need to fight champs. You can use your autos and your R to push wave a bit. I'm just sniping them down with R's. Your R's have so much zoning to power, it either forces them to walk towards you and die, or it just executes them. That didn't... Oh, that's so frustrating. That's like right on her. Like, how was her stupid little circle saving her when the Kog'Maw R's falling on top of her head? That's lame. And she outskilled me on that one. I feel like they should change it to where skill shots still land. Like, if you're actually landing the skill shot, that's pretty big. These guys are in some trouble. Yeah, having a Lulu feels really nice. Got the ward. Getting the AoE off this. This Herald isn't going to be able to do anything. He's just going to die. See, that's the thing. Yeah, they'd be better off kind of not laying that or just laying it in a different lane. I don't want Seraphine to R me. Alright, we need to pull back a bit. They're all just sitting under here. We'll take some of their camps. He's dead. I R'd right when he blind darted. Your R does more damage if they're below 40% health. Or is it 50? Pretty sure it's 40. Yeah, 40%. So if they're below 40%, your R is basically a big execute tool. Yeah, Gwen, she has really high base stats, but she seems like a very situational champion to where you wouldn't want to pick her in every situation. But her base stats are very, very high. With like her healing and some of her raw damage outputs. But she is a melee champ, keep that in mind. Oh, that actually hit me. Jeepers. That almost got her. Oh, I hate that. She just dodges it. After you're on your 3 marks of R, you're supposed to let it fall off. Otherwise, you'll blow through all your mana. So you typically put out 2 or 3. You let the stacks end. That way you can save. So now I use 2. I'm trying to proc my lethal tempo with it. Got it. He blinded me. Yeah, I have too much range for them to sit under turret like that. I'm a lot like a Jinx with rockets on right now. Teemo's got a mushroom right there. Alright, that's GG guys, well played. Tank Kog'Maw's pretty fun. Kog'Maw with Lulu is just so good. Good game.